Namaskar, I'm Madhu Sagar. There are certain experiences in life which are very memorable and they always stay with you. I also have one such experience of my life while I was drumming. What a session it was! I derived so much of energy, so much of positivity in me, and I was so focused at that time. You must have observed anything which has got a life, it has got a music, it has a rhythm. You know why I'm telling you all those things today? Because today on my channel, Rhythm Basha is coming. Yes, he is the founder of a very pioneer company, a very successful company called Tal Inc. So let's meet founder of Tal Inc, Mr. Varun Venkat. Varun, welcome to my channel.
Hi everyone, I'm Varun Venkat from Tal Inc. and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about my journey with drumming, with Tal Inc. and everything in between.
Varun, I want to know what is the idea behind starting Tal Inc. company by you?
So, I truly believe that rhythm is in each and every one of us, and that it is not something different from being human. And that means it's just something we need to discover through some way or the other. And I have spent a lot of time, many years in sessions and working with people to help them with this realization that they can drum. There was this cooking show I used to watch as a kid, and it was called Yan Can Cook. It was really funny. He said, if Yan can cook, so can you. So I consider myself the drummer version of this, if I may. So the premise is that anyone and everyone can drum, because rhythm is synonymous with life, and if you know rhythm, you know life. And that phrase holds true regardless of the way you spell the word know.
Varun, what has been your background? And did you visualize that, a company like Tal Inc. will grow so successfully in India?
So the idea of Tal Inc. was really something that grew very organically and very symbiotically. So I learned my first rhythm from my father, and that was, I think, something I remember very often. And there was always music around as I grew up. I was listening to music. Mom was an RJ in All India Radio in Kolkata, and Dad would play drums and guitar. So we were always encouraged to identify different kinds of music, sing along, and enjoy that. So as I grew up, it was only a matter of time before I started learning percussion instruments. I started off with a small pair of bongos, because I think that's the starting litmus test to know कि क्या ये बंदा actually serious है drumming करने के लिए. Otherwise, everyone has a fad, no? मुझे drumming सीखना है, मुझे drum बजाना है, but it sort of comes and goes very quickly. So it was different, of course, for me. So Tal Inc., the concept, it started off as a school where I wanted to teach people how to drum, regardless of their age. So my youngest student at that point was some 5 or 6 years old, and oldest was just a few years younger than me when I started. So it's really interesting, like a motley crew, a mixed bag of age groups and things. And I realized that I had to deal with a varied group and teach them in their way how they would learn, right? So I had to devise a method to teach a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old along with a 15-year-old. And everyone's attention span is different. So this is how I think the concept of working with a group started evolving in my head. Of course, by this time, psychology as a principle was something as a subject is something that I was studying in my college. I shifted after my 10th standard. I sort of said I want to get off the rat race, thanks to the support of my parents. And I shifted to the humanitarian studies stream and pursued psychology. So that helps me marry these two subjects, behavior, human behavior, and music, which would fall under the arts umbrella. So it was really interesting for me to learn as I go. Of course, there's a lot of beautiful, amazing, inspirational people around me doing amazing work. It was not as far spread as we now see it, but there's always some way to go to learn, and learning really never stops. So that's how this concept evolved. And what I thought I would add to this new area, fertile area of knowledge, is the psychology angle. Because frankly, I mean, that is true in all facets of life, no matter where we go.
What a combination! Music and human behavior. How did you execute your first assignment? And what was the mindset of the people when you introduced Tal Inc to them?
So, as I started teaching, I realized, okay, this is great. I could work with newer groups and, take the drum to people. So, there are very few activities that can actually bring all of us to this moment in the here and now. And I believe that for me, drumming is that activity. And maybe for you, it could also be drumming. For you, it could be some other kind of art form, or running a marathon, or baking bread. It could be anything. So that's something that we need to indulge in. Of course, when I started off, there was a lot of resistance to this idea, because obviously people wanted to work and they're like, this is dhol bajana baad mein, after work. So nonetheless, I had some people who really supported me, and I started working with, smaller groups. And my first thing as a part of my training program, as a part of my own training as a facilitator, was to work with a group of graduating 10th standard students. And it's not very well known, actually, this fact that I enjoyed the session. I gave it my all. I gave it so much that I think I couldn't take it, and I fell ill for 3 days. Wow. I was working with a group that was maybe, I think I was the same age as the students who were graduating. So it was really a beautiful experience for me to be able to work with a peer group. And also it was a vulnerable experience where I was right there in the middle. And I think, overall, great learning experience, slightly overwhelming, but something I'll always remember, because I'll always know what to change the next time. And that's the principle I bring into my sessions today. If something works, great. How can I repeat that and do it tomorrow? And if something didn't work, how can I act upon that and change it in the following session? Some memorable sessions that we did, wow. I think thereafter things started snowballing, right? More people gathered together in the group, and there was more energy. So people started hearing about, Tal Inc. What is this Tal Inc? Kya karte hain? And then we said, well, you'll need to give us some of your time. We'll bring in the drums and you'll experience ki hum kya karte hain. So we bring people to experience the here and now using rhythm, and now using various art forms. And this was all served on a platter that is fun. That means people didn't have to think about and understand it. They experienced it, and that's our best teacher experience. That's something that really stood out.
What are the different things your company Tal Inc does?
So today, Tal Inc is an organization that works with a wide range of groups using rhythm to positively influence the areas of health and well-being. So that means we can work with a corporate group, an educational institution, in a wedding scenario, in a college or school situation, of course, with special needs groups, with all kinds of groups actually using rhythm, and also other arts-based interventions. So creative movement, expressive arts therapy, fine art, stories, So you give us the group and we will be able to work with them using an art form to communicate a particular objective. Now, what we communicate changes depending on who we are working with and what the objective that we need to communicate is. So, in that sense, what we do is express best through our motto, which is come, drum, be one.
Varun, what do you think? Why people should learn drumming? What are its benefits?
So, why drumming? Drumming is something that's very, very natural, inherent to being human, according to me. We all have some sense of an understanding of rhythm, whether it's a literal musical sense of playing a rhythm, or whether it's a circadian rhythm. That means there's a certain time that we wake up every day, a certain time that we eat every day. So there's some sort of repetitive element value to our life, and that's rhythm. And every time there is a shift in this rhythm, there's usually dis-ease, and there's a straight connection to health and an overall sense of well-being that can be felt when we indulge in these art-based interventions to help us access a more deep, relaxed, and present state of our minds. So, in that sense, in my life, I'd like to do work enough to be able to propagate the use of art and music as medicine, literally, that is prescribed regularly. Well, it doesn't need to be prescribed. We'll just do it because we love it and are happy and motivated to do so. So that's why drumming for me. And it has so many physiological, psychological benefits, right from stimulating many parts of the brain simultaneously to fine motor coordination, to helping reduce thoughts, to help forget other stressors, to be able to bring everyone to this one present moment, which is actually a rare feeling nowadays. We all know that meditation is all about being in the here and now. Drumming is a fun way to access that deep meditative state. And that's why I think drumming is a wonderful thing for us all to learn. The important thing is also that it needn't be so that we learn drumming to become professional drummers. No. But it's that we learn drumming to be able to center ourselves, to increase our auditory awareness. So through these simple physical cues, we will be able to access a more metaphysical state of mind, or a non-musical benefit shall be accessed through this pathway.
Varun, this is a pandemic period. How drumming can help people who are really stressed out?
Through the pandemic, everything changed. So the tables turned 180 degrees and we had to renegotiate everything. People, the whole world suddenly stopped and had a lot of time, yet were cooped up in, confined spaces. So this created a major sense of disease, of anxiety, and a lot of mental health issues started coming to the forefront. As we're seeing today, this mental health crisis is something that we're all going to remember as a human race. So it is important that we, even more so at this point, indulge, take time for ourselves. So use any sort of art-based intervention or any activity, whether it's a physical activity like exercise or art-based activity or a spiritual practice that we have. It's all important to help us be in the here and now, even more so. Of course, the work quality for us on a work front has shifted because from in-person, we are now looking at more online work. And of course, the crux of our work is all about being present with each other. So that is still something that's a long way away for us as a community. And I hope that with safety measures and a strong vaccination drive that we get there soon so that we can reconnect. And that's actually a very integral part of being human. Of course, there will be a new normal, but this part of connecting with people and that humanness and the human touch and the human feeling and energy is still something that we will very much need a lot of.
Varun, can you demonstrate some of the instruments?
What is a drum circle? A drum circle is a situation where people gather together in a circle and play drums. It's that simple. And a drum could be anything, right? From a snare drum or a kettle drum to a djembe or a conga, any sort of hand drum. I'm here to show you some simple instruments that I have lying around in my studio. This is a simple wooden block, a lap cajon, and you have different sounds that you can make, and it really helps you look at things creatively to create new and amazing, fun, unique sounds. Here I have two sticks, which if I hit together, I get a nice sound, a nice pulse. You can use your dandiya sticks, that will help. I have these rattles to create some nice sound effects, and these are super fun things that you can do. I have a simple shampoo case which I filled with some bajra and rice, and I have another shampoo case which I filled with gravel. So this is a shaker, and so is this, and it's something that you can create from your own homes. It's a great instrument to have, a lot of fun, especially if you have kids in the house. This is a tambourine. You would have all seen this, right? That's a fun instrument to have. And here I have a tongue drum. It's nothing but a hollowed out piece of bamboo, right? Bunch of fun instruments. So I invite you to get as creative as you can and look for instruments in your home. Gather your family together and just pass around, explore some sounds. Even though you don't know anything, you may not know anything about drumming, I am willing to guarantee that you'll have fun with this new unique activity that will bring your whole family together.
Varun, what is the scope of your work and what are your future plans?
So to me, it's interesting, right? The work that we do is very much connected to a need that people have, but the whole as a human race, we're all going through a very tough time, and so I'm still intrigued to know how this will all pan out and when we will all be able to gather together. Having said this, I know for a fact that the human connection and the human bond and human energy interaction that we have is something that we will definitely need more and more of in the times to come, to make sure that we endure and overcome victorious. In the future, we shall be here offering these services. Of course, we'll have an added range of online services and also very much in-person services, taking all the necessary measures that we need to take to ensure a smooth session. And we'll also be putting out a lot of new music. I've been using this time to release a lot of amazing music through my band, Tal Inc. and Friends. Search that on Google or any social media platform and you'll find it. And if you need to know anything about the djembe, a traditional West African instrument, you can search for Tal Inc. djembe or Varun Venkat djembe, and you will find my details and you can reach me. So I'll be able to help you understand this beautiful instrument in its traditional, authentic West African style. So if you have any questions or any comments about rhythm, anything you'd like to read about understanding the therapeutic benefits of rhythm, then please visit our website talinc.net, talinc.net, and you'll find a lot of information there. You will also be able to read our blogs, which we keep updating every week, and you'll also be able to write to me. So feel free to get in touch and I'd be happy to help you with all things rhythm. Thanks once again, and I wish you all a safe, happy and healthy time.
Thank you so much, Varun. I'm very soon coming to Pune to drum with you and derive a lot of energy. Come, drum and be one. Thank you. God bless you. Love you.